That's better. All right, what's up, guys? Working on getting my way to my Real Stocks channel chat so I can see if anyone's in here. Let's get there. Every morning I gotta switch over to Real Stocks on YouTube. I can't. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Gotta be honest. There we go. Sup, TA? So we had yesterday with a pretty interesting day. Pretty much dropped a tremendous amount, at least what looks like a tremendous amount. Not much on the daily, but it's at least a percent, right? Yeah, about 1.7%. Pretty big drop from tip top to tip bottom. And then we came back a majority of that amount, which was interesting as well, 1.57%. What's up, Nick? Aram? Is that you, Aram? Is that Aram that talked about gold for like 2 weeks and then left? Are you back? What's up, Justin? Apple slash iPhone productions by 10%. Really? Haven't seen that yet. Well, what's up, buddy? How are you? We talked about the gold trade and then you never came back. I don't think we did too piss poor a job on helping you out with gold. Just that particular trade didn't work out. It's been back since. What's up, Eli? Yeah, every time we talk about gold, I'm like, where's Aram? He left. He didn't even say goodbye. Dude just left. It's okay. It's YouTube. I expect that. All good, buddy. Good morning, Ethan.
Good morning.
Look very handsome today. Nice hair. You're welcome. Yes, Eli. You should buy all the gold you can. Actually, yeah, gold's been a little ripper, and this is where looks like July, Aram. You had a long Christmas, my friend. This is, I guess, back in our time. But yeah, so it broke down from that level, that trend line, and then it's kind of back a little bit. Not the overall trend hasn't changed a whole lot, but it definitely is a little bit higher after that big old shakeout. Thinking about hedging in gold and BTC, but feels bad holding cash only. Um, why do you think that feels bad, Eli? Cash is a great position. Not saying we all have to be in all cash here. I did take a few stock positions. Are you all ready to go? Got your backpack stuff ready to go?
Yeah.
Go for it. So, what's that?
Can you help me get it on the TV?
Hit PC on the receiver. Do you know how to do that? The little round buttons. Hit the one that says PC. All right, market open right there. What do we got? We got GMED up 11%. INS up. GMED, wow, big two gap ups here. Oh, no, that's the moving average. SQ, I don't know, man. Market just opened. I don't know. So far, it's holding up. So far, so good. We broke the trend line. That's a majority of the signal you would typically need in this situation. So it's going okay. The volume yesterday was encouraging. I do like that. We'll see. I was looking at it yesterday. I'm like, well, I'll probably expect it'll probably pull back here to the 58 level, and it'll probably end up doing that. So, yesterday on the NQ we were here. Now we mentioned yesterday edging up to that 50-day moving average. It has acted as support so far. I don't know if there's enough rationale for that to change, to be honest with you. So we'll probably get a pullback in a lot of these names. We'll have to see how the market reacts on that pullback. If it's an epic pullback or a short pullback. He doesn't know how to turn on audio video equipment. Like he doesn't know who his dad is. Shorting gold on this prices, but I have buy order at 1250. Bought some VWRL World Index Fund today. Do you want the market to run away? Let's see. VWRL. Well, I don't know that. Oh wow, that's a. What is that? VWRL. Looks like it's hasn't traded in a while. At least, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm not getting anything on my symbol here. You have to turn the switch on. Doing some troubleshooting from the microphone. Technical indicators show we're in a bear market. Well, a bear market is defined, Mohammed. Well, think of it this way. There's a bull market, a choppy market, and then there's drawdowns in the market, right? So you have your typical pullback, which is anywhere from 5 to 10 to 12%, okay? And then you have a correction, and these are not technical indicators. These are just very simple math calculations from the ultimate high. So here's our ultimate high. So your technical indicators that we would be going into a correction would be a number of distribution days, over a 13-week period. And we had those. I think we went market in correction. Was this day or this day? I forget exactly. But up here. Now, market in correction doesn't tell you if it's going to be a bear market or a correction. What everyone in the world calls a bear market is when the market is down 20% from its peak, which we did accomplish. And so right now we had a follow-through day a few days ago. That tells us that we're back in a confirmed uptrend, which is this day right here. So this is day 3 after the follow-through day. So far, no distribution days, which is good. But there's no technical indication of a bear market. A bear market is basically kind of like crossing into a city. There's generally no technical indication you're crossing into a specific city. But once you cross Central, you're in Phoenix. You know what I mean? It's like that's kind of like what a bear market is. By the time you're in a bear market, you've already had a bad market. It's not like, oh, it's a bear market. So again, those are just descriptive terms for the market cycle. That's a better way to put it. Yeah, so no, we're definitely down, but we have had a follow-through day, which can put the bottom in the market. So we've been down 25%, 24 and change. Been down about 24 and change, so that was definitely bear market territory. And after the follow-through day, we go into what's called market in confirmed uptrend in IBD speak, which is typically how I approach the market situation right there. It's the only way I know to definitively call where we are in the market cycle, and it works fantastically. So if you guys have a better way of doing it or a different way of doing it that you've had success with, I'd love to hear about it. Until then, that's the way that I deal with it. So we've been in a confirmed uptrend since here, 1-4, and we'll see how it works out. So I've taken a position, and so we'll see how it goes. Well, so far, so good. So far, so good. Now, I will say something about these follow-through days is that, well, we talked about this yesterday. Not every follow-through day works, okay? We have had 2 follow-through days that failed. This one here and this one here, both of those have failed. And we'll see if this one fails. You never do know if they're gonna work out or not. So far, so good today. We had a little romp to the downside, came back up. That's not too bad. The green on my screen, we got GMAT up top, CHK, OGRMF, which is a MJ stock, EDU, which is a China name. Speaking of China, I'll bet you Huya is up 97% because I didn't buy it yesterday. Oh, actually sold off quite significantly. Look at that, well back beneath that prior high. So that shows there's some distribution on some of these names. Let's see if IQ did the same thing. A little bit, not as aggressive. not nearly as aggressive. IQ maybe looking a little bit more healthy, although their trend line hasn't been broken either. Huyas has. Yes, Eli, I say that just for you, buddy. So this trend line still intact. We got else do we have up here? Our Goose up 2%. Oh, that's AMRN Goose. There we go. Up 2% off of lows. I wasn't super mad. Actually, I don't know. Thought about taking a Goose position, but it's really hard for me to do that, to really put money at risk like that. It's not in my strategy, so I haven't done that. NetEase, which kind of is in my strategy. I've been looking at this, haven't really pulled the trigger. I've been tempted for a little bit here. You're the one that told me about it. Now I'm just going with it. Now I don't even know how to say it now. Huya? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, guys. Hua. There you go. I guess I just disconnected from my streamer there for a moment. Not sure why. I've had internet issues, and I don't think it's my modem. Anyway. But yeah, Goose sets it undercut here. Really, I mean, that was pretty bad. Really killed its 200-day moving average. So it'll probably need a little bit of consolidation before it really looks good again. VMware up into new highs again, guys. We're talking about VMware for a couple of weeks now. And so it's kind of, I don't want to say leading out of this, but it is leading. Gotcha. Ooh, yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, so the volume isn't very great, but it is moving in VMW. It's a very big company. This can lead us in a market rally, and it looks like it has been. AMRN, which we were liking off of this huge move right there, and so far pulling back, not really much breaking this trend line, but it looks like actually it did a little bit. Could get going again. Square up 1.4%. Looks like it's filling in yesterday's candle and continuing. I like the volume on Square. Yesterday was really nice. I did take a position in Square, as a matter of fact. Team at 0.93% again. See, this market may bore you to death and into some profit here. And hopefully that's what happens. We were looking for a little bit of a pullback yesterday. Maybe we'll get it today. We'll get somewhere on the 50-day. I'm assuming we'll get a pullback of sorts. And then if we chop around for the next month or two, let the 50-day smooth out, maybe start curling up a little bit into the 200-day, we'll get that nice retracement and in the 50-day moving average crossing back up over the 200-day. That would be ideal and bring in a lot of other traders. Twitter, Tesla basically flat. INSG little down to flat. Hasn't had a red day in a minute, so it's kind of due. I guess it's had one red day, which is pretty minor. Yesterday was a nice little support day. It sold off and came back. So looking like it's setting up a little bull flag in INSG after a really good breakout a couple weeks ago. Right there. Towards the end of the bear market. I actually tried this one here. It didn't work. That one actually hurt a little bit. So a lot of them don't hurt that much. That one hurt a little more than I wanted it to. And then on the second attempt, looks like it's working out well. But my position size was much smaller, so didn't really get back what I wanted. MMNFF lower, and I thought we saw another weed stock up here higher. OGRMF. Interesting. Two sides of the same token right there. Let's see what the ETF is doing. Up a little bit, 1.26%. No major volume at the lows yet, so it's hard to say whether this thing is done going lower, but I would have definitely liked to see more higher volumes down here at the bottom, especially on a marijuana ETF. We just haven't really gotten it. I guess it's slightly elevated, but it's not really. You see the average volumes, still looking lower, but a nice bounce out of the lows. Looks like about 25% or so. So that's a nice bounce out of the lows. Ideally, we'll consolidate that and move higher, but V bottoms usually don't work out extremely well. We'll have to see, though. It's a very burgeoning sector. All right, so NetEase 2.16. Still trying to rocket out higher here. Yeah, NetEase not too bad. Market market choppy. We need a little bit of market chop without being destroyed during the corrective phase. So far, that has not been the case, and actually, this is kind of looking a little bit like a rising wedge on the Nasdaq, which is not encouraging. I'm going to delete a bunch of these trend lines. So a little bit of a rising wedge on the Nasdaq with declining volume doesn't lead to a lot of confidence in the rally, but chart patterns such as this in indexes don't have to work, but it is still a chart pattern to be respected with the declining volume. We'll see what happens with that. But it's not looking super great. You can see yesterday actually was elevated volume on the NQs here over the previous day, so that was good because we did have kind of a big reversal. Now the volume wasn't super elevated on the way up, which is a little bit disconcerting, but it is what it is. And now we're chopping around here up above yesterday's range. So looks like we're starting to run out of steam a little bit. If we get another big up thrust, I don't know, that may be it for the full bear market. Maybe that would take us past the 50-day, and that would be really healthy. That's a good sign when you cross the 50-day moving average on elevated volume. That would be a really good signal. Like if a stock is in a deep bear trend, let's see if we can find one. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's click BABA. So take BABA for instance. You can look over here. So there's a day that's pretty high volume over the 50-day moving average, which is this one right there. That's a good day. That's a really good day for a stock. Indexes doesn't mean as much, but it definitely is a big bullish signal. Hopefully we can do something and get a big bullish signal like that in the next week or so. That would be nice. All right, let's go from the top down. We got GMED, EDU, CHK. There's EDU. EDU looking pretty nice today. That's a nice big candle, 7%. Coming up to some prior resistance levels. Looks like it's playing with one right now. Volume pretty small, 196. We're only 15 minutes into the trading session though. MU, there's CGC. Probably why MJ's up a little bit. Skyworks, Race. Race is coming back a couple of gappy days right there. 1, 2, 3 big gappy days on Race. That could be bullish. Race is Ferrari if you're not familiar, and I don't know if they're publicly traded in Italy or not. So these gaps may have something to do with the overnight sessions in Italy. Man, ZTO, GDS. This is looking pretty nice. Looks like we broke up that trend line and then we bounced off it down here. Now we're coming back. The volume isn't necessarily spectacular. It's getting yesterday it was pretty good. Yesterday everything had a good volume day the day before yesterday. But yesterday for GDS was pretty good. This is a good looking one. Auto Home. Ooh, Therm. Come on. Therm not looking bad. Almost a symmetrical triangle feel to it. You've got a higher low here, which is a little encouraging. It doesn't wash out any sellers, but they've already been washed out for the most part. Good green volume. Look at that green volume right there. Very encouraging. Therm looking pretty good. Already took over its 200-day moving average. Looks like it's 50. Never crossed its 200, so that's encouraging. And we're selling off here. And it looks like we're about to cross that 50-day. And a 50-day on elevated volume I think would be good. You got about 18% to $50, which is its prior high. And that's some pretty encouraging volume down here in THRM. That's not bad. It looks like fairly constructive patterns. I'll have to mark that and do some further analysis. There's VIPs popping up going sideways for a while. That's not too bad. Funko down significantly. And sorry, water break. There's the trend line I was looking at. Not sure about the fundamentals still on Funko. We'll have to look it up at some point, but so far come up to that trend line. We'll see how it behaves. Tilray is up. RTEC. Let's go see what IBD had to say today. I haven't really looked at IBD yet. And already being bought back up a little bit too. Stocks advance on China trade, oil prices, Apple cuts output. Yeah, let's look at Apple. I meant to look at Apple when someone mentioned it. No one cares, up 0.4%. Wow. I guess the discount's already been priced in. Oh my goodness. That's been, what? Come on. That's been a 38% drop for Apple, which is pretty abnormal for the mega cap. Let's take the weekly chart. Last time here it dropped about 33%. So, yeah, I guess if you want to bottom buy Apple, go for it. You know what? Who am I to say different? 40% lower on Apple. Screw it. Buy the bad news. They're still going to make more money than everyone in the world. Oh, yeah, let's see what the articles say here. Let's see what China trade. It's probably just some more tweets we'll see here. Oh, China trade talks continued. Intuitive Surgical sprung higher after raising fourth quarter guidance. Skyworks led an early rally among chip stocks, despite lowering its guidance and receiving an analyst price target cut. That's weird. Doesn't happen very often. So again, this is actually interesting. Remember we talked about how newsbound we were to this market? Apple cuts, Apple's up. That is bullish. That is bullish. Oh, they have IRSG. It's ISRG. They messed up their own ticker on their article. That's funny. Intuitive Surgical, which never has a pullback. Mind you, this thing is just a beast. Even before here, we were trading this in up through this time frame. Finally had looks like a big weird head and shoulders pattern. And then since, I kind of lost track of it a little bit. I got to be honest. I should have looked at ISRG, but didn't really give me any market signals. It was way too extended every time. Now we have a market signal in IRSG. This is a leader. If you guys don't know about ISRG, talking about medical robots. That's all you need to know. These guys have been leading this industry for 15 years. And they're the Apple of medical robots. Is pretty much what they are. Excuse me. So any discount on these guys is a good thing. There's only a few stocks like that. Apple's probably one of them. ISRG or IRSG. What's that? 25% clip. See, that's a lot of strength in this type of market environment. Never even undercut the prior base. No one sold this thing. Look at the volumes. Look at the volumes here. No one sold this thing. I mean, literally, no one sold this thing. So right there, you had a little bit of elevated volume. Look at that. That first week they bought it. That first big red week, look at where it closed, higher. And then they sold it off a little bit, and then they just kind of started eating it. Sold off a little bit here, but looks like it's coming back. ISRG just really been a beast in the marketplace. If you want to talk about a good long-term hold, if that's what you're doing, I think ISRG is really, really a good one. They talked about SWKS. Popped up despite cutting guidance. Well, yeah, it's down 50%. 49% from that high. If we go from that high, it'd probably be a full 50. Oh, not quite. Almost. We'll just call it 50%. You guys won't get too mad, will you? All right, so Skyworks. Interesting down here. I'm not a huge fan of these bottom buys, but I got to be honest with you. If we're starting to get bullish and you see some of these high-quality names, Skyworks is a higher quality name, ISRG is a higher quality name. I don't have a strategy built around this, but if you guys, if you guys want to do the homework and have some names you really like that are at a deep discount, that are market leaders, like true market leaders, not kind of a fly-by-night stock like 3D Systems or something like that, you can look at a potential trade. I wouldn't be mad at that. We haven't had a bear market in 10 years, guys, so it's probably warranted to do more homework than you would normally do, and I would recommend that you do that. WBA, which is Walgreens, looks like it just took it from 87 to 65, back at 71, 72. Caterpillar, doing okay, deep discount on Caterpillar. Micron, been in a downtrend for a long time. We'll see if that can reverse. My trend line's still in place. ASML. I don't know much about ASML, which is probably why I breeze over it. I have a feeling that I should know more about it. PCG. Ooh, looks brutal. I don't want to touch that one. That looks troublesome. That looks troublesome. Stock market uptrend day 10? I mean day 10. Oh, from the bottom here. The young market's uptrend approaches a critical tech. Hold on a second here. Let me gather myself. Okay, family's leaving. They're gone. Okay. And markets rip-roaring higher right there, guys. They try to fake us lower, and we're going higher. All right, so here we go. Stock market uptrend day 10. I want to see what they say here. As the market's young uptrend approaches a crucial technical test, the NASDAQ is closest to that watermark while the Dow Jones Industrial Average lags. The NASDAQ and S&P each begin Wednesday's session less than 2% from the underside of their 10-day moving averages. The Dow is 3%. A break above that level would put the NASDAQ at the 7,000, S&P at the 26. This could shift those levels, as well as the index's 50-day moving averages, into areas of support, buoying the rally. If the 50-day line becomes a level of resistance, that could act as a cap to hold back the rally's progress. We were just talking about that. So key data is due out later Tuesday. Oil supplies, Federal Reserve minutes at 2 p.m. Is that today or yesterday? That's today. Today's Wednesday, isn't it? Today's Wednesday. We're already talking a week ahead. Output. Apple cuts iPhone output 20%. Wow. Apple is struggling to form a bottom to its 3-month consolidation. That's for sure. Canopy jumped 4.4. Tilray dropped 2.4. Jim Cramer touted Canopy as a buy and Tilray as a sell. What's he doing? That's crazy. Crazy. So, okay, interesting words there from IBD. All right, so, and now we're back down a little bit. So, a little bit of choppy market session. Nothing bad, though. Definitely a few things to look at here in the market. You have something that you haven't seen in a long time, which is potential opportunity. Usually it's just been extended prices after extended prices. And now that we've blown prices apart, you're back into situations where you can start to look for what is a good-looking stock chart to you, what is something of value that you see, what is something fundamentally. If you're looking for longer-term holds, like I said, ISRG could maybe be a candidate for you. Anyway, you have some homework to do. I think I'm going to call it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't see too many questions. I think I'm just going to go through the same charts over and over again. So I'm going to get out of here, see what my 4-year-old's doing. And, go do some homework, guys. I mean, everything is down significantly. We have a follow-through day. Now, the market isn't super bullish, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. We'll see how we react at the 50-day moving average. That will be critical. But put a watch list together. Absolutely put a watch list together for you. Write down why you like them. Write down levels that you would buy, levels that you would sell, what would make you bullish or bearish at this stage of the game. Because from here on out with the follow-through day, you have to be prepared for bullish stuff. We're a little more bullish than we were on these follow-through days. Not a lot, but maybe that China news and that China stimulus can be enough to move the markets, and maybe that's what institutions wanted to see. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. See you, Eli.